What do you do when you get a new PC, especially like a nice compact? This is the HP Slim, and this is something that's really nice for an office or just a home general use. You can use it for media, you can use it for watching movies, you can use it for answering emails, or you can also use it for like coding and a number of other things. I'm curious to what you would do with this, so let me know in the comments. But in this video, we're going to talk about what you should do first and what programs you should install first on a computer like the HP Slim here or something similar. HP did sponsor this video. I was going to make this anyway, and then they said, hey, we want you to do a review on this, and I said, well, you know what, this is perfect for this upcoming video, so let's just work together on that. First off, this is the HP Slimline desktop. It's the S01-PF0145XT, and you can get several different models that are similar to this, but I like this one in particular because it has more than 8 gigabytes of RAM, which allows us to do more at the same time, and you're getting a real-time feel for the performance, because while I'm doing this, I'm using this computer to capture everything with Open Broadcaster. So the screen capture, the audio capture, and everything is happening live while I'm showing you on the screen what's happening. The full-on specs, we've got an i5 in here that will boost all the way up to 4.1 gigahertz, and it has 6 cores. So that's going to be both your CPU and your GPU is built in. It's the UHD Graphics 630 from Intel, and then the memory is 12 gigabytes. There's one 4 gig stick and one 8 gig stick, and you can upgrade this all the way up to 32 if you wanted to. Another thing that really keeps this feeling snappy is the fact that they've given us a 256 gigabyte NVMe M.2, and above and beyond that, we have a 1 terabyte just regular hard drive in there for storage. Who knows what you're going to put on that. And it's also interesting to see a DVD writer on a modern computer. I felt like those were like old school, and now lately I've been wanting to play a bunch of old school games that I have on CD and DVD. So something like this would be great for old school games, and companies like GOG.com are updating so many old DOS and old Windows games to work on Windows 10 machines, so this would be a fun machine to use for that. You also have built-in Wi-Fi and a bunch of options as far as ports go. On the front, we have 4 USB ports, so that's a nice handy feature. Plus, you got your audio jack and also a multi-memory card reader right up there in the front. So 3-in-1. Weighs 9.4 pounds, so you can get a little workout if you wanted to. One other thing I like is you can keep it up like this if you wanted to just stand it upright, and it's virtually silent even while capturing. I don't hear it. I can hear my computer over there in the background way louder than I can hear this one right on the desk. You're not going to hear any humming or anything like that. So it's virtually silent, and you can also turn it on its side. I like to take these, put them on their side, and put the monitor on top to save desk space. It's free real estate. All right, when you first turn this on, you're going to go through the initial Windows setup where it asks for your keyboard and all that stuff. I'm not going to insult your intelligence, but I will just say that all these options are up to you. And you have one question right off the bat. Should you go for a Windows account, or should you do a legacy account that does not connect to Windows Server? I usually do the latter because I like to have a different account on each one of my computers. But if you want to share settings between different computers, you can set up a Windows account, and also that's going to share some telemetry with Microsoft, but they're going to be looking at whatever you do on Windows, just about any way you slice it. But there's some things we can do to even stop that. So make your decision there. I'm going to go with an offline account, but you can connect to the internet just while you're doing the setup and set up an account that you can use. Or if you have like a laptop or something and you have an account, you can sign in here. It'll pull your information and your settings and your preferences and put them right here on this machine. So after that, it's going to go through a few more options, and then you'll get to the screen where it asks like, what data do you want to share? Do you want a unique advertising ID? I personally always turn all this off, but you can go through granularly and turn them on and off based upon what you like. And then since this is an HP, there's going to be another screen where you have options to go ahead and register. And that's going to be good for, connecting with HP warranties and that sort of thing. Since I'm sending this one back, I'm not going to do it. Now, when you first get in to the computer, with a lot of different computers, and this one included, you're going to have some software that's installed. Some people call it bloatware. Some people enjoy some of the software that's on here. So let's just see what we have installed right now. Down here in the system tray, I can see we have McAfee installed. So that's got to go. I'm going to get rid of McAfee unless you really, really want McAfee. I'd rather use Windows Defender than McAfee, but, McAfee does spend some money to get this on there as a marketing thing. So this is also going to pop up on the screen. You can go ahead and go through this if you like. We're going to go ahead and ignore that. These are all going to be trial softwares. You can sign in if you have an account, and that's great because it's already there for you. If you decide not to use Microsoft Office, we can get rid of it. Now you have a couple different options, and before I actually install a new web browser, which is normally my first thing, I want to remove any software that's on there that I do not want. So there's a couple different ways to do that. This is Hidden City. You can right click and uninstall a lot of this stuff just from here, just by right clicking and uninstalling it. If you hit start and type uninstall, and it brings up the add and remove programs feature of Windows. There's a lot of stuff here that you can uninstall, right? So I can go ahead and get rid of this that Windows thought would be nice to install. Some of the stuff it's going to be, like won't let you get rid of the Xbox game bar. You can get rid of Xbox Live, but not the game bar. But you know what? There's a nerdier way to do this. You have to be a little bit careful, but if you download Revo Uninstaller, it's something that's part of that Nanite page. You can put a check mark on all the regular programs right here. You can uninstall those. Or if you click on Windows apps, it'll bring up all that protected stuff that you normally have a hard time uninstalling. Now, this program differs a little bit from regular uninstalling because it goes in and it looks at all the registry keys and it makes sure that it removes everything. So I really don't want the Xbox game bar on this PC, right? So I'm going to right click and just uninstall all this stuff, right? So this is what I wanted to tell you. Make a system restore point in case it messes up anything with Windows. So go ahead and hit continue. Creates a system restore point. It takes just a few seconds to do that. And this will allow you to restore because, it has to go in and enter those shell commands. So there we go. It's removed, right? But once it's done, there may be some registry keys or just junk left over. So this will scan and say like, okay, here's all the registry keys that seem to be only used by this program. You can get rid of them, get rid of them if you want to. So I'm going to go ahead and select all, and then I'm going to delete. Now, I only feel confident in doing this because I created that restore point. So if you've done that and you feel confident as well, you can go ahead and delete all these registry key entries. And if you notice anything weird afterwards, you can go ahead and restore from that other point. But now I can get rid of all this nonsense. If I'm not going to be using this with the Xbox Companion or anything like that, I can just go ahead and uninstall all this stuff. And you can uninstall Groove Music or any other programs that are on here from Microsoft. It'll enter in the PowerShell commands that you would normally have to do manually. Very easy. So Revo Uninstaller is really handy for that. And then there's another option that I think might be really easy for a lot of people to do out there. And that is using Microsoft's, just their Fresh Start tool for Windows 10. They know a lot of different computers come with all kinds of stuff on them. And if you download this tool, it will strip down Microsoft and it will remove all the programs you've put on there that are above and beyond just the standard Microsoft functionality. So it'll remove any copies of Office, McAfee, all that stuff is going to be gone. It'll even remove the HP stuff that's on here. So some of that stuff you might want. So that's going to be your option. I'm going to do this off stream just to clean it off, give it a clean slate. Now we're back and Windows is surprisingly clean. I would not recommend going through the process of removing everything from Windows unless you're more of a power user. For a lot of you, it's better to just go and uninstall the weird programs that you don't want manually. And then the rest of this, you can decide whether or not you want to keep it. I'm going to get rid of Skype. You can keep whatever you like. And then you can resize this however you like. Let's just, if you want to make it large or whatever, we can do that. There we go. Nice big weather app. Now the next thing I'm going to do is customize my desktop. You see my icons are huge. If you like them big, you can hold down the control key and scroll your mouse to resize your icons. I like mine a little smaller than most. The only thing I've installed so far is Open Broadcaster. That's what I'm using to capture right now. So now I'm going to customize the bottom bar here and just right click on the bar and click on settings. And that'll bring up all your options for the bar. If you like to automatically hide it, you can do that. I like to use small buttons, but if you want to use the regular large buttons, you can do that. So this is how I do it. I'm showing you that way. And then if you want to put your, your bar on top, as if you were an Apple or a Linux user, you can put it up there, but that's just up to you. I like mine on the bottom. And then we can come over here and click on colors. And I like the dark color scheme. As you can see, it's pleasing to the eye. And then you can pick your highlight color, whatever it may be. So there it is. That was really quick. And then I like to change my background. This is completely optional stuff right here. There we go. Got me a picture from my background now. See how that looks? It's pretty, maybe a little busy, but whatever. Ooh, I don't know where this came from. I'll put a link to this if I can find it. All right, next up, let's change the behavior of Windows File Explorer. This is not Windows Explorer like the internet browser. This is the File Explorer. So when you first click on that, it's got a couple things, the pictures and Notepad. It just goes to your quick access, and if that's what you want, it'll show you the recent files that you've opened, and it'll also give you quick links to your documents and downloads and all that sort of thing, your pictures folder, whatever. I like it to go to this PC because that's the way I like to use it. So if you want to do that, what you do is you click on the little icon there, bring it down, and then click on View. And on View, over here on the right, you'll see Options. Go to Options, and it says Open File Explorer to Quick Access. Let's open it to this PC. And you can change any of these settings. Also in View, I like to come over, click on View, and then go down and Show Hidden Files and Folders, just so I can see everything that's going on. Now, the next time I open my File Explorer, it'll go straight here instead. Go straight to this PC, and then I can close this. There we go. Now you notice this computer came with a data hard drive. I'm going to put my downloads folder here because it's a much larger folder. All right, so I've made a downloads folder here. Now, how do I make this downloads, or my just regular downloads folder, go here? Well, you right-click on the downloads folder, the one over here on your quick access. Hit Properties, and here you'll see Location. So now we can move it. Let's go to this PC, or to the data folder, and that downloads folder we just created. Select Folder, and Apply. It's going to say, do you want to move everything from your downloads over to the new one? Yeah, let's move everything over there. Just get everything off our C drive so we don't run out of storage there. And now we see we've got this and our HP downloads. By the way, I downloaded some drivers, some updated drivers. The HP Download Manager software is really easy. Like, I wish we had that for everything. It would make installing stuff, especially with Intel systems, much quicker and easier. So HP, thanks very much for the download and driver installation tool. Made my life a little easier. All right, now let's start installing some programs. So we got to go to our Edge internet browser right here. When you first pop that open, this is going to be the old school Edge, unless you're seeing this in the future. They may have upgraded. The new version of Edge is pretty good. I like it better than Chrome. So there, I said it. The new version of Edge is better than Chrome. It'll even use the Chrome store for a lot of your stuff, and it doesn't have as many ties on the back end to Google. Instead, it's Microsoft. So pick your favorite flavor. But it's also a Chrome-based browser. I'm going to recommend using Firefox though, or Vivaldi or something else. But if you have to have Edge for some reason, the new version of Edge is not too bad. First thing I want to do is start off with ninite.com, and that is a quick and easy website that allows you to grab a lot of your essential programs. Some people just go here and then they call it a day. So I'm going to grab Firefox. If you're going to be doing any torrenting, QBitTorrent is the best way to go. And then for compression, 7-zip is my choice. WinRAR pops up all the time asking if you want to buy the program, even though all the features are pretty much free, but it just gets annoying. And 7-zip has better compression. If you're going to be installing Steam or something, I would recommend doing that separately and installing it onto your D drive or your secondary drive. The thing about this is that everything you click here is going to install into its default path, which is usually your C program files folder. You're going to want to be able to watch all your media files, H.264, H.265, Matryoshka files, whatever you want. So I like to grab these two, K-Lite codecs. That's just a package of all kinds of codecs, so everything will play on Windows. Plus it also comes with Media Player Classic, which I like, and then also VLC, which will get just everything else. So you're not going to have to worry about not being able to watch any media. It'll all work with that. And then if you want Winamp or Foobar or something like that, these are music programs. You know what they are. You can grab them. If you're really old school, you can grab Classic Start. Have that back, but I'm not going to. Documents and Office products and stuff. I will recommend LibreOffice, but I'll do that later. So if you're just ready to go, LibreOffice is going to give you more options than OpenOffice, and it is a really nice free Office suite. On security, I like Malwarebytes. Some people also grab Spybot, Search and Destroy, but I'm just going to go with Malwarebytes. And the main reason here is I want to be able to scan for rootkits or anything like that. Antivirus is great, and the newest version of the stuff that's bundled with Microsoft is really nice. I would use it over, say, McAfee or Norton or something. But Malwarebytes is going to give you an extra layer of protection, and this is a program that I actually pay for because I want to make sure that I don't have any rootkits on my system that can get in there and cause me all kinds of headaches. And then I grab Notepad++, and sometimes Putty. This is just for developer tools, and this is going to be very subjective. So go ahead and get your Ninite. Once this is finished, we can go ahead and run, show details, and you can see right now it's downloading Firefox, and then it'll install, and then it'll just move down the list. While one's installing, the next one will be downloading, so you don't waste any time. And you know what? Firefox, I actually like to sign into Firefox because it'll allow you to share your passwords and also your settings and just your different options right here in the browser, like all your extensions and stuff. So I'll show you a couple extensions, but I'll do a separate video just on that. First thing I like to do is just come over and put it into dark mode, because we must. You can do whatever you like. All right, first off, I want to thank all of the people who submitted ideas. We got a few really good ideas here, but I will link this as well. there is a thread over on our Twitter page. We got some really good suggestions here in the comments. So thanks everybody for suggesting some stuff there. And if you see your stuff in there, maybe I picked it, but maybe I used your comment as an influence. All right, so next up, I like to run a VPN on my system, and that's just for an extra layer of security. It basically creates a tunnel between your internet connection and their server, and then it encrypts that traffic so that your ISP, whether it's Comcast or Verizon or whomever, can't monitor you. They can't, they can't sell your information. So it keeps you. It adds like basically a layer of protection on top of your internet connection. And I've always used private internet access, and I also use ExpressVPN depending on the circumstance. But I've found private internet access to be a company that hasn't had any leaks, which I like, as far as IP addresses and that sort of thing goes. And also, I've used them for probably 6-7 years now, and it's always been really fast. So I will put a link to them in the description. We've got a deal, I believe, with them, and we're not sponsored by them, but I just use them. Now, some other options if you don't want to get Firefox. There's also another browser called Komodo Ice Dragon, and it's like Firefox with an extra layer of security on top of that. So if you like the Firefox experience, which I think is the best, you may also want to check this out. Now, if you want to keep with the Chrome flavor, but you want something a little different, Vivaldi, in my opinion, has something that's way more modern than most browsers. And I've already done a video on Vivaldi, so I will link that in the description if you're curious. But Vivaldi has this little bar over on the side where you can organize basically everything you're doing. It's just a interesting modern take on what a browser can be, still based upon Chrome, and it'll work with a lot of the Chrome extensions and stuff. Now, before we move on, I want to show you some of the extensions that will work on both Chrome and Firefox. You'll just have to go to the respective stores. I believe they're called add-ons or plugins in Chrome, but extensions here. So be careful with ad blocks. There's like the regular ad block, it's junk. They actually make money by displaying ads to you. So they take money and they allow some ads to come through. That's kind of ridiculous. So I use AdGuard, but also uBlock Origin is good. But I like AdGuard because there's a few other things that it does. There we go, AdGuard Ad Blogger. Just add that to Firefox, right? All right, let's get you a super handy utility to allow you to browse your files without having to double click on everything and open them up. This is called Quick Look. And this was something I learned about from one of the community members over on Twitter. Now, in order to get any of these modern apps, you're going to have to sign in with a Microsoft account. So if you don't have one, you can create one. But just be careful when you do that you don't click on also allowing it to take over your whole entire account on your computer unless that's what you want. You want to let your Microsoft account that's online have access to everything you do and like sync up, then do it that way. But I like to keep my Microsoft Store account separate from my Microsoft Windows account that I'm using locally on my machine. Okay, once you sign in, it'll let you just click install. All right, so what Quick Look does is really cool. Like say you've got just any kind of files and you don't want to like have to double click and open them up. Just click on the file or highlight the file and tap the space bar and it'll show you a little preview of that file real quick. So like, that's from our Epic Pants photo shoot. There we go. Hit space bar. There you go. And this will work also on documents. So it's a really handy little tool to just be able to smack spacebar and get a nice preview of the application, the music, the whatever document. It'll even show you contents of the document. So it's pretty cool and pretty handy little feature called Quick Look. All right, now let's talk about Office suites. And Microsoft Office is clearly the king because it is the most supported throughout the industry. So if you're someone who is using Microsoft Office, you can just skip this and move on. But if you're someone who's looking for a free solution that will be compatible with a lot of the Microsoft files, you have a few different options, right? So we have WPS Office that has a lot of interesting features, and it's going to be $29 a year, so quite a bit cheaper than Microsoft Office. But in my opinion, I'm not sure if that price is worth it. If you're going to be spending money, get Microsoft Office for like $6, $7 a month or whatever it is on the lowest cost plan. But there's a pretty good free option called LibreOffice, and I like this better than OpenOffice for a few different reasons. It has more extensions and it's more compatible than OpenOffice. So that's probably the main reason. But LibreOffice will give you just about everything you need. There's similar applications to Word and Excel, PowerPoint, and all of that. So if you're going to be using something for free, this is a good way to go. Then when it comes to PDF, well, there's a few free PDF programs out there like Foxit PDF and stuff, and there's some PDF functionality built into LibreOffice. but I actually paid for A-Power PDF because it's a very easy tool and it allows you to edit PDFs. So I like this one quite a bit. Now, if you're also someone who needs Photoshop, there are a few free options. GIMP is a big one out there. I actually don't jive with the interface of GIMP as well as some do. So I, again, found an option for a program that is a one-time payment of $49, I believe. And it's called Affinity Photo, and there's actually some stuff in here that's more interesting and feels a little more modern and sleek than Photoshop even, but it's very similar. It works similarly, has a very nice workflow, and it's one-time payment of $49. So this company, Affinity, they have solutions for Photoshop. They have a really nice designer program and a really nice publisher program. So I highly recommend checking them out if you're looking for an alternative to the Adobe suite that's not extremely expensive. If you need a video editing program, that's something we can cover in a totally separate video, but there are some really good options for that as well. All right, now we're going to get into the nerdier stuff. So if you're good to go, then see ya. Hope you enjoy your computer and hope it gets lots of use. So the first thing I want to check out is Belarc Advisor. Go ahead and grab a copy of that. So the thing that's nice about Belarc Advisor, and this is a program that's been around for a while, but it will look at your computer and give you a detailed I guess rundown of what's going on under the hood, what specs you have, what's happening with your drivers and stuff, and it'll even say like, hey, you're missing some Microsoft hotfixes and stuff like that. So it's a good way to manage and maintain things. I use it here and there, but it's just a handy tool to have. We mentioned Nanite, which will allow you to install a bunch of programs. But if you're someone who's from Linux and you really enjoy package managers and installing things yourself on the command line, well, did you know that there's a package manager for Windows and it's called Chocolatey? So if you're very curious about that, you can grab it here. But it is a pretty cool package manager that lets you come in and install, stuff straight from a repository, just like you do with Linux. And as you can see here, we've got a lot of different packages that you can install. And this is all you have to do is just type Choco install Firefox and it'll install that, or you can use their GUI and do it that way. But there you go. Pretty cool solution. For someone who really wants to get their hands dirty and have a package manager in Windows. Now also, Notepad++ is the text editing tool that I use. It's very easy and has a lot of functionality. But if you're someone who wants to do tons and tons of coding, you might want to look at Visual Studio Code, which is another text editor mostly made for people who are developing. Did you think we weren't going to do God mode? Let's do God mode. So you right click on your desktop, right? Click on New, Folder. You're going to title it this long string. And I'll put this in the description. So just make a new folder and copy paste this title into the folder, hit enter, and then you'll notice the folder turns blue. It's like a secret. God mode. When you open that up, it's like a really quick access panel to so many settings on your computer, devices and display it and stuff here. So this is just a really fast way to get to a lot of the settings that are under the hood on your computer, and it's all organized nicely. So it's just super handy. I keep it on my desktop right over here. It just lives there forever. So again, in this video, I'm not recommending that you do everything. You should watch the video and just do the steps that you think that pertain to you and that you need. So there's a lot of options here. I only use about 2/3 of everything I just did. So pick what you like. Let me know in the comments what you're going to do. Let me know in the comments if you have a nice slim PC like this and what you do with it. I'm curious. I use a PC just like this one to run the Epic Pants store for all the printing and stuff like that. So small, it's quiet, it works. So there's that. Again, thanks to HP for sponsoring. Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you have any other suggestions on programs that you just have to have when you reinstall Windows, let me know about those as well. Last but not least, head over to epicpants.com and grab yourself a t-shirt of Jobs and Woz. See you later.